Oh my days. So I went to bed last night and I woke up to The Road Ahead. And this time, CG looks to have actually nailed it. There is loads of stuff for us to go over in The Road Ahead this time. So let's get right into it. My name's Scribe, and let's break this down. The first thing that I want to talk about in this road ahead is Jabba the Hutt. We have had the third set of requirements, and of course it does include the brand new released SWGoH Leia kit that they announced last night, and her kit's actually not looking half bad. It's looking quite interesting, and I am so happy to say that with the third set of requirements that Jabba the Hutt has come out with, they are actually, dare I say it, is it actually quite generous of CG? There are absolutely no Relic 9 requirements in this particular GL, and sure, we do have 3 brand new marquees to get to Relic 5 in Kasantan, Skiff Lando, and the brand new SWGoH Leia, but the other requirements, they're really not so bad. A Relic 7 Jedi Knight Luke, a Relic 7 Fennec Shand, these are characters that actually improve our roster and quite a lot of people have already invested in. Yeah, sure, we do have a Relic 3 Mob Enforcer. I think everybody could see that coming when they saw the Mob Enforcer had the Hutt Cartel tag, but the kit is also being reworked, and again, it's not looking terrible. So, based on how things are looking, to me, and the fact that Jabba the Hutt is going to be required going forward, 4 parts of TB, more on that very soon, and SWGoH TB, he could well be my next GL. I'm excited. When it comes to his kit, we don't have the full release yet, but we have been given a few insights into it. Now, what do we know? He is the first support type GL. All the other GLs, apart from Jedi Master Luke, have been of the attacker type, Jedi Master Luke being a tank, and he is now a support. Now, he also is told to rely heavily on thermal detonators, which I think is a bit of an interesting subject because, namely, all GLs take reduced damage from percentage damage effects. Thermal detonators is a percentage damage effect, so it would deal next to no damage to a GL. But the interesting part is that we have had it confirmed by CG Mouse that whilst enemies have thermal detonators with Jabba the Hutt on the field, they're going to take reduced healing. Now that's very interesting because this is further reinforcing the idea that Jabba the Hutt is going to be a GL that is going to handedly beat JMK with Cat. We saw it originally when we got Kasantan's kit. Now, Kasantan has a baked-in anti-cat mechanic in that the first time he dies when he's under a full Hutt Cartel team, he will revive at, I believe, 60% of his max health and max protection at the end of the ally leader's next turn. So that means after Cat has leaped and insta-killed him, he is the pre-taunting tank, then he will instantly revive and come back, so you're not attacking at a deficit. Now, if these thermal detonators are reducing the impact of healing, it's stopping things like JML's second special from healing up the enemy team. We have also had it confirmed that whilst he is a support type, he is not a pacifist. He's not there in the same vein that C-3PO is there just to give buffs to his allies. He will actually be debuffing the enemy, and we do have the likes of Salacious Crumb passing thermal detonators across the team. This is also confirmed to be a method of increasing mastery. So with mastery increases, yes, that is very useful for long drawn out battles. It does mean that he is likely going to be highly effective also in the Rancor raid. And speaking of the Rancor, we have had it officially confirmed by CG Mouse that the Rancor will feature in Jabba the Hutt's ultimate. Yes, he is going to summon a Rancor to eat one of your enemies. Now, I'm assuming that this insta-kill effect is also going to be non-revivable, so you will not be able to revive an ally eaten by the Rancor, and you can do it multiple times per battle. So I guess the question now comes down to is how quickly and how efficiently can you get Jabba into his ultimate state? And I really want them to open up a trapdoor in the field and have them drop down into a cave and the Rancor just noms them. That'd be perfect. Do it. Now, of course, because it is an insta-kill effect, that does mean that it won't really have the same effect on other Galactic Legends, nor will it have the same effect on raid bosses. Big sad, but I'm sure there'll be some compensation when you use it against a GL or use it against a raid boss. It probably does some form of massive damage, maybe inflicts some debuffs, I don't know, armor shred or something like that. We'll wait and see. Typically, this sort of thing ends up being a little bit lackluster against those guys, but we've seen it with Cat's Leap. That can actually do incredibly good damage against raid bosses, so maybe there'll be some sort of stacking damage mechanic added to it as well against these unkillable or uninsta-killable targets. Let me know your thoughts down below. The last thing that I want to touch on about GL Jabba the Hutt is a little bit of a concerning point, and I have actually expressed this in the past. Omicrons. Ladies and gentlemen, Omicrons. We know that Omicrons, well, I guess it's a little bit subjective. I'm of the opinion that Omicrons, they're great. I love Omicrons. They're really enjoyable. However, as soon as CG released Omicrons, I could see it happening. GLs are going to have Omicrons. Now, this is not confirmed, but what CG Mouse did say is that baked into his kit, there's going to be specific stuff that make him particularly powerful in areas such as TB and in raids. This is not confirming that Jabba the Hutt is going to have Omicrons in those areas, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Omicrons on him for those areas. Now, I'm not particularly upset by it because so long as Jabba the Hutt performs in a PvP environment, in GAC and in TW, without the need or desire for Omicrons, I don't mind. It's okay by me. Let me know what you think about it down below. The next huge thing that was announced in this road ahead, and I'm actually super excited for this one, we've had it confirmed we are getting a brand new territory battle, and this one is actually cool to me. I love this idea. Now, we first had hints of this before from our boy SWG. Don't know who SWG is. He's the guy that runs the SWGoH Events Discord server and the SWGoH Events website, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there was a bit of a leak last week, I believe, of SWG talking about the fact that he knew that there was a new territory battle coming and a new Conquest character, and a new character associated with it is going to be Reva from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Now, CG Tusken Meathead has confirmed that this is the case on both accounts. Now, this TB is going to be very different to previous iterations of TB. There's going to be light side, dark side, and what they've called mixed paths. Now, this mixed path is not, from what I gather, just a you can use any unit you want. This is specifically for the likes of bounty hunters and scoundrels and smugglers. Basically, they want to try and capitalize, CG Capital Games, they want to try and capitalize on the fact that there's a brand new Jabba the Hutt GL and they want people to go for it. So this middle path is supposedly going to be exclusively designed around those sort of mixed light side and dark side teams. We'll actually be able to use a full bounty hunter team that has Greef and Mando in it. Yay! And we'll obviously be able to use the new Jabba the Hutt GL, which obviously has Skiff Guard Lando and the Leia Bouche character involved in the team, those being light side and dark side. Typically, you wouldn't be able to use them in dark side GOTB. Now, what I find particularly exciting about this game mode is that it is going to have branching paths, different nodes that you can push down. We don't have the full details about how this game mode is going to work, but it sounds exciting. It sounds like it gives guilds opportunities. Now, I don't want to say that this is all sunshines and rainbows. I do foresee there being some difficulties down the line in this sort of approach. Namely, if you release a brand new territory battle which has a huge focus on not only the new GL that has only just been announced, but is also heavily leaning towards the inspiration from everybody's favorite faction in the game. Yeah, CG is still pushing Inquisitorius, and it looks like they are going to be featuring heavily in the dark side paths of this new TB. Is this going to cause some dissent within guilds, particularly those highest achieving guilds? Are they going to start wanting players or expecting their players to have the brand new Jabba the Hutt GL, to have geared up their Inquisitorius so that everybody can start getting Reva? Is Reva going to transform the Inquisitorius team from what it currently is as a powerful, disappointing team into something that can actually maybe win a battle. Who knows? Who knows? Probably, I would expect. But again, this probably does mean that, dare I say it, we're going to have to gear up Inquisitorius. I feel sick. So apart from those few little niggly bits, I do actually really like the idea of this new territory battle. It's less of a territory and more apparently about a galactic scale story. It's supposed to take place after the events of Revenge of the Sith, but before and leading up to the events of A New Hope. So perhaps we're going to see impacts of things like Rogue One. But they have confirmed, yes, the Inquisitorius faction, their rise to power, their hunting down of the Jedi is going to feature, and of course, new Jabba the Hutt GL is heavily going to feature. So those have really shone a spotlight on those two, I don't want to say factions, but yeah, sure, factions. But CG, of course, in their infinite wisdom, is not going to just, sort of lay it there and just think, hey guys, gotta gear those Inquisitorius, brand new GL, gotta go push for that. On the light side of things, they have sort of confirmed that on the light side path of this new TB, we are going to be following the story of the starting of the rebellion, right? And specifically, they name-dropped Phoenix as one of the factions that's going to be heavily involved. Now, I know where we're going with this, guys. Yes, the Phoenix faction does get used heavily in the brand new fleet meta of the Profundity, but this is a brand new TB. Do you all remember the leap in difficulty from Hoth TB to Darkside Geo? Yeah. Do you remember the leap in difficulty from Darkside Geo to Lightside Geo? Yeah. Now, just imagine how difficult this new TB is going to be, how much requirements. We're talking like high relic levels for the entire teams, for everything, just to compete here. We're talking about, a minimum power of 25,000 GP, I'm guessing, on each character for these battles. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, guys, we're going to have to relic our Phoenix. I'm guessing this is all assumptions right now, but they were name-dropped specifically. What I do really like about this new TB is that they have confirmed that this is going to be an expanding TB. I think what the concept they're trying to go for here is that this will be an evolving story. As times go on, they're going to implement new story or develop the story further. Like I said, we start sort of between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. As things progress, we might be able to see all through the OT trilogy, all through the sequel trilogy. Yes, I know people love the sequel trilogy, but it also means lets us expand into the expanded universe side of things, where we get to see stuff like Mandalorian content, new Ahsoka content, Andor content. As these shows come out and get released, this is going to be repeatable, fresh, new content for us, hopefully, provided CG can keep up with the workload, because obviously it's a big deal to try and constantly expand this. But I like the concept. It'll keep things fresh for us. That gets a big thumbs up from me. What do you guys think? Not only that, they did actually confirm that it'll tie in with new games coming out. We do know that we are getting the Jedi Fallen Order sequel coming out, so we're going to see some Cal Kestis influence there, we're thinking. And not only that, it does say that we are also going to expect new rewards. So as time goes on, is Reva only going to be available for a short amount of time? Is she going to be locked into the dark side path, where if you go down the light side path, maybe you start to unlock Cal Kestis? If you go down the middle path, do we eventually finally get Hondo unlocked? I like this new method of CG introducing new game modes, new ways to play the game, new ways to unlock characters that evolves gradually over time as the new content gets introduced. This is actually a good idea. Hats off to CG. When they deserve some praise, I think that they should get it. Obviously, it is a new TB, so there are also going to be brand new modifiers and brand new enemies for us to engage with. Now, I'm hoping, against all hope, that we do not see stuff like the Retribution modifier that we see on Galactic Republic, anything that's reflecting all that damage. I want to hold off on commenting on how difficult this TB is going to be, but we can almost guarantee that it's going to be at least harder, or at least as hard as Lightside GOTB. So we're going to need heavy investment in characters. They did say if you are in a guild that is currently performing and getting the lion's share of the rewards in Lightside GOTB, then you should be able to jump straight into this TB. So this brand new TB is aimed to be released at the end of the year. We're looking at December time. This is games development. They won't necessarily stick to that time schedule, but that's where they're aiming to get this done by. So what would I recommend to you right now? If you've got capacity, I would heavily consider trying to invest in Jabba the Hutt as a GL. I would heavily consider investing in Inquisitorius. Reva is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. She's definitely coming. She's definitely going to elevate the Inquisitorius faction. And maybe they'll be able to do something. But more importantly, I think there's going to be an expectation of high-performing guilds that you have these kits, have these characters unlocked, and be ready to perform in this new neutral multi-mixed TB. So we've got basically 3 months or so to try and get prepped. I'm not saying drop everything that you're doing right now, but certainly have that penciled in your diaries. And funnily enough, we're only halfway through the actual content released in this brand new road ahead. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. And at Christmas, you go down to the video and you like and subscribe. Please do take just a quick moment to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to your boy Scribe. I put a lot of work into this. Let me feel a little bit of love. Big love. This next part of the road ahead, just like icing on the cake for me, they have announced something called mod calibration. Now, I know not everybody enjoys interacting with mods, and that's in no part due to the way it's been implemented so far and the difficulties involved with mod management, but this looks cool. All right, so picture this. You've got a mod. It's a fantastic mod, but it could have been an ultimate mod. You had 4 rolls on speed and it's sitting at 23 speed, but you didn't get that last roll on speed. It could have been like a plus 29 speed secondary mod. Instead, you got an extra roll somewhere on like defense, flat defense. Well, they are giving us the opportunity to re-roll one of our other secondaries. So say you've got 2 rolls on defense, you can choose to re-roll one of that and it will get reallocated to one of your other 3 stats. This is awesome, because this means we can almost potentially try to perfect our new mods. We can bring them and elevate them to a level before we haven't been able to achieve. We can actually try and get all those high-end top speed mods. Now, I've expressed a disinterest before in mods because of how Datacrons seem to be invalidating mods. In fact, Datacrons, I believe, go a step further. Not only do they invalidate mods, they also invalidate investments in certain teams. If you don't have the Datacrons to go along with teams, they can be largely invalidated when facing people in GAC and territory wars, because it's all about the Datacrons. Datacrons help teams punch up or become unkillable in the instances of GLs if you do not have a Datacron that can adequately deal with it. Now, I don't want to completely poo-poo this idea, because I am actually very, very excited about this. I don't think that we can completely neglect mods. So those people that have already been working on their mods heavily, like myself and like many of you watching at home, this gives us the opportunity to make some perfect mods. I'm excited for this one. Now, the only thing that I have a concern about is the brand new crafting material that we're going to be using in order to calibrate these mods. This new crafting material, it's called a mod attenuator. Sure, I've got no problem with them introducing one brand new thing, one brand new crafting mat to add to 1,000 other mats that we've got to deal with, but they've confirmed it's only going to use this one crafting material for all these calibrations. The issue is that they've not told us where we're getting these attenuators from. Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or be completely pessimistic or cynical about this, but if they're not telling us where we get them from, does that mean it's going to be awful? Are these new attenuators only going to be available from, say, the brand new TB? Are they only going to be available from a brand new challenge tier of assault battles? Are they only going to be available for crystals? Are they only going to be available for cash? I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to pass judgment until we see it in the game. But I would like to think that this mod attenuator is going to be available from mod farming challenges and is going to be readily available and not completely expensive for us to try and farm up. I've got so many mods that I want to try and recalibrate. And let's not make it difficult for us to achieve, please. Let's see. There are more positive sides to mod changes coming, though. Finally, CG is removing the 3-dot and the 4-dot mods that drop from mod challenges. So now when we sim to get a bunch of speed mods, we're not going to have to go in and sell all the trash that shouldn't be there in the first place. They're also changing and flattening the drop rate of the different shapes, the different types. Before, triangles were particularly rare to actually achieve. Now everything has got an equal chance of appearing, so we've got a better chance of rounding out our mod collections at a faster pace. This is all good news for me. I do still feel like mods have largely been marginalized, but this is still really good and positive changes. Another big thumbs up from me. Good work, CG. They're also going to be changing the mod store. They are removing entirely all the 3-dots and 4-dots mods that might potentially spawn in the store, but they're also apparently taking a look at the quality of the mods that appear in that store, as well as the cost of them. Now, mods can be extremely costly. We're talking 3 million, 4 million for a gold mod, or 1.7 million fleet currency, I think it is. So if those things are going to be adjusted slightly and brought down, all the better for us, gives us more opportunity to get better mods and improve our overall mod scores. All good things for me. All good things. And the final thing that they wanted to announce is really just a re-announcement of a very, very old initiative. It is the actual finalization of only phase 1 of the gear economy changes. Now, I think it's been about a year since phase 1 started, so God knows how long phase 2 is going to take, and is there a phase 3 and phase 4? What's the timeline on this? But anyway, this is still overall pretty good changes. They're increasing drop rates for gear on hard nodes. They're also looking to introduce additional core gear. Now, the core gear is like your carbantes, your stun cuffs, your stun guns, the sort of high value pieces. Let's really be honest, it's all about the carbantes at this point. But those are getting introduced into the Shard Shop store as well for additional Shard Shop currency. And apparently they're looking to flatten the TB reward system. Now, this is a bit of a bone of contention for me. Flattening the rewards from TB is good for all the players that don't excel at TB. However, it almost inadvertently disincentivizes large guilds from really pushing hard on TB. If the benefits are completely marginal, what's the point of really trying too much harder? I guess maybe on a certain level, this is taking away the stress of these of performing in TB, but I don't know. I always feel like if you do perform better, you should get rewarded more, not less. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this particular change in the comment section down below. And that actually wraps up the entire road ahead. I've got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, this was actually a fantastic road ahead. We got a load of exciting new stuff coming. We've got brand new TB, we've got Reaver announced, we've got huge mod changes coming. I'm really liking all of this good new stuff. Even the Jabba the Hutt GL requirements seem incredibly generous to me. But what I'm interested in is in your thoughts. What do you guys think? Please do let me know down below. And I guess we'll leave it there. So until the next video, guys. Peace out.
Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.